Well done, guys. Well, hopefully you had a good workout there. Let's finish off by doing some gentle stretching. So bring yourself back onto the mat and let's get going. Here we go. If I sit down here. So find yourself in a comfortable seated position. You might have your legs out in front of you or across. I really don't mind. And if you bring your right arm down to the mat, and what I'm going to do is reach up with your left arm and over and across. This is a nice stretch all the way down the side towards the hip there. And then back up and place your left arm down. And the same, so again we reach up nice and tall and then over we go. I'm feeling a nice good stretch there. And with all of these stretches, we're aiming to hold for about 10 seconds. We try and relax into any stretch. If you can do 2, then brilliant. Again, reaching over. And hold. And you might be tighter on one side than another, and that's fine. Very rarely is someone completely symmetrical. In fact, I say nobody's symmetrical. So you're always going to get a little bit of variation there. That's good. Right, so now I want you to get both of your hands out behind you, sit up nice and tall, and try and poke your chest out if you can, yeah? So squeezing those shoulder blades together, and bring your arms out behind you, and then my arms come across my chest, and all the way out in front of me. And again, up nice and tall. This is a really good stretch for the front of the chest. And then arms in front of me. There we go. That's good. And then relax. Okay, so if you take one of your arms, so maybe if you take your right hand over your left thigh, and just gently going into a rotation stretch there. And as you breathe out, you might go that little bit further. And back to the start position. And if you take your left hand now over the right thigh, sit nice and tall and try and rotate around as far as you can. So again, breathe into that stretch and you might just go that little bit further. And again, back to the other side again. So your right hand over your left thigh. And if you find it's uncomfortable doing this on a mat, then again there's a video of me doing these for your back in seated, which is a bit more practical. That's good. Right, so what we're going to do now is bring ourselves into a crawling position. So on all fours, and what I want you to do for me now is bring one of your legs out and away from you, and we're going to really have a good stretch into the calf, hopefully, in this position. So my knee is straight, my toes are on the mat there, and then swap over to the other leg. So it's a nice stretch into the calf. You might feel it on the back of the knee as well, and then back down again. And the same on the other side. And again, I'm going to try and do 2 on each side. A stretch is more effective if it's held for about 10 seconds or thereabouts. And we do 2 for good measure if that's okay. Okay, So I'm going to bring myself onto my tummy now, and the reason is we're going to stretch out the muscle on the front of my thigh, and that's called the quads. So you might be able to reach, in which case you can just bring yourself with your ankle up towards you and feel that stretch on the front of the thigh there. If you don't have the flexibility for that, then another option is to use something like a belt. There we go. And you could hold onto a belt or something like that. So this stretches the lower part of the front of the thigh muscle. And then the same on the opposite side. So I'm just going to use my hand for this one. But again, do what works best for you. I'm only going to do one on each side of this one because we're just going to go and do the upper part of that muscle. So bringing yourselves up into a crawling position, and what I'm going to do now is bring my leg up in front of me. So I'm going to keep my hips nice and level there. I'm not bending forwards, I'm not leaning backwards, and I'm going to bring my weight over the front of my thigh. So this is actually stretching the top half of the quadriceps, which we sometimes call the hip flexors. And while we're up here, let's stretch the hamstrings. So we're going to keep on the same knee. I've just straightened out that front leg. Now keep straight from the back and bowing forwards, and you should really feel a tight stretch on the back of your hamstrings. I certainly can. And it's easier if you've got the toes pointing away from you. You get slightly more of a stretch if you have the toes pointing up to the ceiling there. That's good. Okay, and let's swap over. So bring the other leg up in front of us, and same thing again. Bring my weight forwards, but notice I'm not bowing forwards, I'm not leaning backwards, I'm not overarching the back either. Keep my pelvis in that nice centered position that we have done through the whole of our workout, and we bring our weight forwards. And you should feel a stretch on the front of the thigh, on the knee that you're resting on. So this one just here. That's good. And let's straighten out that front leg and bow forwards. So again, your back stays nice and straight, yeah. If I flex from the back, I can go all the way down here, but the stretch I'm looking for is on the back of my thigh there. That's good. Do the same again. You know, there's seated equivalents of this, there's standing equivalents of it. So, you know, if you're not comfortable in these positions, you adapt it, you find what works best for you. But it's just that we do know that stretching after exercise is a good thing because it just releases a lot of muscle tension, and it can reduce post-exercise soreness as well. And that's it, guys. So hopefully you had a good workout, and you've had a good stretch to go with it. So don't forget to click like and come back and join us for another workout sometime. Take care.